Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Cheney Cortez, and I'm a registered immigration consultant, passionate about helping individuals and families navigate the Canadian immigration system. With extensive experience in the field and also as a commissioner of oaths for Quebec and beyond, I'm committed to providing personalized, practical advice to guide you through the immigration process, whether it's express entry, family sponsorship, LMIA, or other pathways. Beyond my professional role, I am also deeply involved in advocacy work aimed at protecting the rights of our temporary workers, and I believe in standing up for fair treatment and opportunities for all. And I'm actively supporting efforts at the parliamentary level to improve protections for temporary workers in Canada. And today, I'd like to invite you to join me in the cause by signing a petition that calls for stronger rights and protections for our temporary workers. And the petition is in French, but it simply advocates for fair and just treatment, ensuring that these essential members of our workforce are respected and protected. Your support is invaluable, and together we can make a meaningful impact. And thank you for being here. And I look forward to sharing important information and insights with you today. But first, let's go to the advocacy. I'm going to share the screen. So you can go to Facebook and take time. This is in French, and I show you this one. You click this one, and you'll go to the site. Once you click it, you go to, let's see, organization petition. Let me just show the window. Okay, it's much better. Sorry, there. So once you click it, you go to the petition and it says here, demande visant à étendre la réglementation pour la protection et le soutien des travailleurs étrangers temporaires. You know, there are a lot of people who break their bone and back with this, and this is to help you, but also we need your support to help us, please. It's to help you too. So we already gained 128 signatories, and I urge everyone to please go to this website and register. And this means that you support the cause for the temporary foreign workers. Okay. So much for that. Let's go to the presentation. Back to me. Well, now with the recent LMIA changes, as we all know, with the report by the federal government regarding the labor market impact assessment, or LMIA, involves significant changes, particularly impacting low wage positions in regions with high unemployment rates. Here's a detailed discussion on the announcement. The key changes in LMIA: the suspension of LMIA for low wage jobs, and the federal government has suspended the approval of LMIAs for low wage positions in regions where the unemployment rate is 6% or higher. And this measure is part of the government's effort to prioritize employment for Canadian residents and citizens in areas facing higher unemployment. This suspension affects specific regions with unemployment rates at or above 6%. And let me show the map. Share screen. Sections. Okay, let's go to the map. Let me go to the window. Much simpler, huh? Okay, let's go to the unemployment. Here you go. As you can see, this is from Stat Canada. Oh, went back. Sorry. Stat Canada. It says here, as you can see, the map here shows the 6% unemployment rate. We go to Saskatchewan, BC, which is 5.2. That's good. Yukon, which is 3.1. That's very good. We could go there. Manitoba, they're not affected. Who else are not affected? Quebec, well, Quebec, we have a different policies, even if it's at 5.7. They've also announced that they cannot they suspended LMIA in regions in Montreal. You see? So only 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces are not affected. But of course, you have to go to different provinces too, because in their areas, you could see that there might be 6.2% unemployment in their areas. So just to show you, with the if we go to Alberta, there you go. They will show you the unemployment rate by economic regions. And that's how you'll find out that in Edmonton, there's 8%, 10% for all. Okay. I'm sorry, my computer is a little slow. Still don't have budget to buy a new one. And there's unemployment rate by occupations. And this is in Alberta, if you want to go to different places. And with Quebec, thought I had Quebec here. Unemployment, I think it's unemployment. So let's go to Quebec. I'll just show you Quebec. If you wanted to look unemployment rate in Quebec. So you don't go to any other like this. It's better you go to the official site like Institut de la Statistique du Québec, and you'll see all here. So 2023-24, July, this is dated unemployment here. We'll go to unemployment rate here, 2024, July. It's been updated August 12th, 2024. As you can see here, we have here, we'll look here on this side in Quebec City, 5.5. And here in Montreal, we have 7.4. And this is the reason why they suspend LMIA to all low wage worker. We also have Laval here. So if your work is in Laval, uh, and you won't be able to renew the LMIA in 6 months' time. They suspended that. Lanaudière, so check your address. If it's in the region of Lanaudière, it's 8.1. Okay. Did I miss something? No. So the rest, you can go and your employer can apply for work or for LMIA and you can renew your work permit. There's no problem with that. Back, stop screen. Sorry for that. And so the purpose of this change is to encourage the hiring of Canadian workers first, especially in regions struggling with higher unemployment rates. And the government aims to ensure that foreign workers are employed in sectors and regions where there is a clear need without displacing Canadian workers. So they want you to find a job outside of those territories. Employers in the affected regions will face stricter regulations when attempting to hire foreign workers for low wage positions. They may need to explore other hiring strategies or focus on recruitment within Canada, particularly in regions with surplus labor. What are the impact on foreign workers? Well, we all know potential foreign workers looking to apply for low wage positions in the affected regions will have fewer opportunities under the LMI pathway. It emphasizes the need for foreign workers to consider other immigration programs, such as skilled worker streams, that are less affected by these regional restrictions. Exceptions. Some high demands occupations and essential services may still qualify for LMIA approvals despite the suspension, depending on specific labor needs and shortages. And what are the future implications? This policy change may evolve based on economic conditions, labor market needs, and feedback from stakeholders. Employers and potential foreign workers should stay informed to any further adjustments or alternative pathways that may be introduced. And in conclusion, this LMIA suspension underscores the government's efforts to balance the need for foreign laborers with protecting local employment opportunities. Employers and foreign workers must navigate these changes by exploring alternative immigration options or focusing on regions not affected by the LMIA restrictions. And so we have this problem. What do we have to do then? There are Canada's immigration programs overview. And given the precarious situation facing temporary workers, there are economic programs or immigration pathways available that you can explore. Express entry and provincial nominee programs operate on a points-based basis system and involve a draw, meaning there is no guarantee of being selected for permanent residency, as you can see. We have provincial nominee program, family sponsorship, reunite with family members. I put LMIA because there's still LMIA on high wage. And it's also open as long as you go out of those places, but of with the high unemployment rate. international mobility program, which we're going to discuss later, public policies like SOWP, and the humanitarian and compassionate grounds. There are many programs, but I'm just stating all the best programs that maybe will apply to you. And choosing the right immigration path. First and foremost, ensure that you have completed your language exam and had your education assessed, as these are essential steps to becoming eligible. This applies especially if you already hold a work permit and have relevant work experience. There are additional eligibility requirements to consider, but these two, completing your language exam and getting your education assessed, are particularly time consuming. So you have to take IELTS or SELPIP or TFL in French, and you must have your education credential assessment. What are the key benefits of each program? Each immigration programs offers unique benefits designed to meet different needs. For express entry, it's open to applicants worldwide. Well, not all. We have the CSE for people who are workers here. And in Canada, providing a streamlined pathway for skilled workers. In provincial nominee programs, they focus on regional needs, allowing provinces to select immigrants who fit their labor market requirements. Or you can also and apply for family sponsorships if you have families who are Canadian citizens and permanent residents, and to sponsor eligible family members, facilitating family reunification. Like I said, the LMIA a while ago, I don't need to explain that. It's for high wage LMIA and for those people who can find LMIA outside of those metropolitan cities with the 6% unemployment rate. Humanitarian and compassionate grounds are special considerations for individuals who would face exceptional hardships or distress if required to leave Canada. It is important to note that express entry, PNP, and application based on humanitarian and compassionate grounds do not guarantee an invitation or approval, and the outcome can be uncertain. Family sponsorship generally offers a stronger chance of success as it based on established family ties in Canada. And LMIA, while not a direct path to permanent residency, can help you stay in Canada and may eventually lead to a permanent solution. And then, so I would like to show the draw to some of the program, economic program. Yes, there you go. Here you go. This is the ministerial instruction. These are the draw that happened in the years. The most recent one is in August 27, 2024, those who applied for Canadian Experience class. So if you've already worked here for a year as a foreign worker, as a skilled worker, that's a tier 3 and up, then you can apply for the Canadian Experience class. You only need CLB 5 language, and you can be, if you have a point like 507 and up, then you'll be able to be invited and you have your permanent residency. This is federal. See, they've already did a draw of July 31. They had a draw and they've invited 5,000 with a 510 rank score. The CEC, again, 3,200 invited with 509 score. And the Canadian Experience class, 3,300 with 507. There was again here on July 17, 2024, Canadian Experience class, 6,300, 515. They've been drawing like how many? One, two, three, four already. And for those who's under healthcare occupations with a band score of 445, there were 3,750 who were invited. Have you noticed the French language proficiency? They've been drawing this like ever since January. Take a look at this. February 21. French language proficiency, 7,000. And the point score is only 365. French language proficiency, 336. Invited, 2,500. French language proficiency, March 26, 1,500, 388. And so on and so forth. And I'm just showing you the importance of French language proficiency for the federal program. And if you want, I'm going to present one of the programs of the government. Enhancing. Here you go. Here you go. So this means enhancing the vitality of Francophone communities by welcoming French-speaking international students and immigrants. This was released in August 2024. I don't know. Maybe I wish I could hear you now. Do you know the answer to this now? That you should learn French and at least pass the exam of NCLSC 5 to be able to avail of this program. So French is the new job offer. Key benefits of each program. So I've already discussed that. And now with all those problems that we have, the big question is, can I find a job without LMIA? With the sections, I'll let you read that. You know what to read. There are lots of jobs that without LMIA. And so now I'm going to present you what jobs that doesn't require LMIA. Mhm. Sorry, just give me a minute. Mhm. Looks like I've erased it. I have to. Okay, why is it that I? Okay, now it's labor. Here you go. I'm gonna show you programs that doesn't need LMIA. Here are the public policies, the title, exemption codes, and they're called international mobility programs. I'm sure you already read the slides a while ago. This program, or you can be issued a work permit without any LMIA. So, what are those? Let's see. Public policies. I hope one or two of these programs applies to you. Open work permits for Hong Kong recent graduates, optional open work permits for permanent residents. So let's look at this, okay? Because this is December 15, 22 and after. Let's not look at this one. They're just codes anyway, but it means if you don't see any number here, um, it means that they're not there anymore. There's no exception codes anymore. Public policies issued under 825, open work permits for Hong Kong again, open work permits for H1B. In R204, under R204, international agreement or arrangement. So if you're working under airline personnel, and if you're a government, boy, you're not a United States government personnel, or if you're a Mexican trader under CUSMA investors, they're people from Mexico, CUSMA professionals, executive, and those who lives in Colombia, traders, investors, executive, management trainees, spouses, traders, investors. And if you're a from South Korea and you're a trader, you don't need an MIA. If you're also a Korean investors, who else? They are all mostly positions, management positions. If you're a spouse too, and if you're from Panama, you have your professionals or technicians, you don't need an LMIA. If you're from Peru and you're a trader or an investors, a professional or technicians, you don't need an LMIA. GATS professional, contractual service supplies, graduate trainees, SETA, investors. I'm making this fast because you can go to the website anyway and check, okay? Canada Ukraine Free Trade Agreement. These are for Ukrainians, so you could see there. And this is for territorial exemption codes. It's nominated by a province for permanent residence. So, like for example, if you get a CSQ, then you can apply for open work permit and your family too. Significant projects, exceptional or unforeseen events such as natural disasters. So that's under R204. You're exempted. You don't need an LMIA. So let's hope there's a big storm that will come in Montreal and we will all be exempted of LMIA. I don't know if flood will be allowed. Quebec investors with notice of intent to select. So if you wanted to be an investor in Quebec, Atlantic program, immigration program, you don't need an LMIA. Airline personnel, again, so this is under R205. This is Canadian interests with significant benefit exemption codes, expert on mission, fishing guides, Canadian lakes, specialized knowledge. And here you see Francophone mobility. If you passed your NCLSC level 5 French, and you can show to the officer that you passed that exam and even higher, then you can go out to other province and apply for a work permit only. You don't need an LMIA. So this, I would like to stress this point to review your French, take the exam, pass it, and then you can apply for a work permit without an LMIA outside of Quebec. Live-in caregivers whose permanent residence application is submitted. So if you've submitted and you had that letter of they've already started or you accepted your submission, then you can apply for open work permit. Caregivers whose permanent residence application is submitted under HCCPP or Home Support Worker Pilot or HCSWP. You also don't need an LMIA anymore. You just have to apply for open work permit. Spouses and dependents of age of majority of caregivers whose permanent residence application is submitted under the HCCP or HSWP. So you can bring your dependents and spouses too. And those who are certain Quebec selection certificate holders currently in Quebec. Once you receive that CSQ, you can apply for open work permit and your family too. Public policy for spouse or common law under partner in Canada class or family class applicants to apply in Canada. And the bridging open work permits, you already know about that. And permanent resident facilitation work permits categories under were already stated, and the Yukon community pilots. You go to Yukon, and if you're in Yukon right now, you don't need an LMIA with this program. Also, for those applicant who has their Quebec selection certificate approved but are currently outside Quebec, then you can have an open work permit. You don't need an LMIA. And a startup business class with a permanent visa applicants. How about the reciprocal employment codes? We have the residential summer camp counselors, coaches, and athletes, International Experience Canada program, if you'll be one in that, academic exchanges like professors, visiting lecturers, and performing arts. So whoever is an artist there, maybe it could be in this program. R205. No LMIA. Designated by a minister. Educational co-op, post-secondary level, and educational co-op, secondary level. Competitiveness and public policy exemption codes. Like, as we all know, and we all avail, maybe most of us, the spouses or common law partners of high skilled workers, tier 0 through 3, the spouses or common law partners of full-time students. That is not already applicable. They've already taken that off. It's only for students who are taking masterals and PhD. They should have taken that off. Dependent children of a high skilled worker, of course, spouses. Dependent children of low skilled worker, tier 4 or 5. That's for agricultural workers. Family members of economic class, permanent resident applicants, and academic award recipients, innovation stream pilot. I don't need to discuss all of these through. We could go to the website and make a search. And it's here. Whoever is very involved in religious work, you don't need an LMIA. And charitable work too, you don't need an LMIA. If you go and work for the charitable institution or for a religious institution, you don't need an LMIA. And for R206 exemption, you don't need an LMIA if you are refugee claimants and persons under an unenforceable removal order. And R207, permanent residence applicants in Canada, like the LCP, well, we don't know. We don't have anyone of that. Spouse or common law partner in Canada class, protected person under subsection A95, Section 825 exemption, that's the humanitarian and compassionate grounds, like I told you, and the family members of the above. For vulnerable workers, that's the A72. You'll be given 1 year of open work permit for vulnerable workers. You don't need an LMIA, and even your family members. Humanitarian reasons. So those students who cannot pay for their tuition fee, you can ask for an exemption code for the regulation, and B, holders of temporary resident permit valid for minimum of 6 months. That's for under humanitarian reasons R28. So those are the list of LMI exception codes. It's here, the website. I'm gonna post it in the chat so you could take a look and see and review if you want. Okay, comments. Je m'excuse de ne pas parler en français parce que d'habitude, les gens parlent en anglais partout au Canada. Mais je vais vous répondre tantôt, après. C'est bientôt fini. C'est bientôt terminé, pardon. And we have a disclaimer I forgot to tell you. And the immigration policies change frequently, and the information provided today is general and not personalized advice. And for specific guidance tailored to your situation, please schedule a consultation because we're not allowed to give specific advice to anyone in public. I'm sorry to say that. In conclusion, the federal government has stated that LMI applications for low wage positions will be refused in regions where the unemployment rate is 6% or higher. Additionally, there are indications that restrictions may also be applied to high wage positions in the future. As temporary workers, we are particularly vulnerable to these evolving policies, and it is crucial to take proactive measures to address these challenges before they impact us directly. Staying informed and prepared can help us navigate these changes effectively. If no immigration options are available and you do not have an LMIA, it is essential to follow immigration rules and return to your home country, reapplying from there rather than overstaying in Canada. The immigration system is modernizing, and authorities can track who returns home on time. If returning is difficult due to worsening conditions in your home country, consider applying under humanitarian and compassionate grounds. Always adhere to the rules, and remember that many nonprofit organizations are working hard to assist. Collaborating with them is a valuable option too. And here are the upcoming meetings of some nationwide advocacy groups. Just to show you, I'm gonna share the screen again for the last time. I know that the pretty. So at first, I've asked you to sign a petition a while ago. Please don't forget that. It's for you, not for me. I don't have interest with this anymore. I'm a citizen, but I like helping people because I used to be a foreign worker too, who almost lost her papers or her status. So I know how it feels. So please, please go to this website and sign the petition. And then I'll be showing some of the groups too who are working out. Like, I think I'll show the windows for everybody so it's easier for me and it's not going up and down. Yeah. No, this one. Share. Sorry, I talked to myself. So this is the petition, and You go to Facebook, this is it. You go there. Oops, sorry. I got some message there. And find out where is that again? Protection. Oh, I have to discuss to you the TRP later. I just wanted to show the organization who can help you, like the Migrant Rights Network. See, they're also organization who helps temporary foreign workers to have a status here in Canada. Like they're advocating vulnerable worker open work permit to the federal government. So we should take part of this because if we don't support this, no one would listen to them and no one would listen to you. I'm actually part of the group because I wanted to help. But if you don't help us, then no one would listen to us. So what can you do? And let's just show the other one is Migrante. This is nationwide. We have Migrante Quebec. This is also a nonprofit organization. And I think they will have a discussion about this on September 15 at Van Horn. I might be there. I don't know, but it's good that you go there and see for everybody. And also IWC, this is Filipino organization, but the IWC is for everyone, every workers, temporary for workers and not. What's that, Temu? IWC, here you go. So you go to IWCCTE and their organization to help you in Quebec. But for some parts of the provinces, I think we have more. And you can go ask IWC or Migrante Quebec, and then they will show you. We'll go. So the last one, I just wanted to talk about the victims of human trafficking. There are some organizations that are like um, agencies and consultants and uh, lawyers who ask for money for a fee and also they had the workers under forced labor. There is a special uh, policy for that, that if you're one of the victims, you can have a temporary resident permit and are allowed to stay in Canada for a year. They'll be giving you a 180 days period, but this could be extended for another year. So that's 1 year. And this is free. This is free too. So if you're a victim of human trafficking, then this is also no LMIA and will give you enough time to apply for permanent residency and other immigration program. So that's it. If you have any further question, then please just type it and I'll be happy to answer. I just sorry that I have to speak in English though. If you have questions in Tagalog, just please write it in Tagalog and then I have to answer in English. We have show. This is Karim, and he said, Bonjour, j'ai un contrat de travail à Saint-Hyacinthe. Je mon EMT. He's asking, he works at Saint-Hyacinthe, and if he would have a EMT. Let's go to find out the labor humanitarian. I have to discuss you. I'm going to share my. I have to. Je vais vous montrer la liste de suspension de l'EMT ici. Vous voyez, vous allez dans la liste ici. Ça, c'est, désolé, c'est en anglais. I'm sorry, this is English, but you can go in français here. Okay. And then you see here all the instruction ministérielle, la limite actuelle, la poste fournisseur, the caregiver is not included except, okay, I'll put it in English, and then for those who speaks in French, then uh, we can have in French after. Uh, Classified under NICE, private household, they are not exempted. So you will have a problem if you live in Montreal and high medical needs. The only one who are exempted are caregivers who are a physician note carry certifying both the medical needs if they're taking care of clients who needs medical attention. Okay, now in Montreal, with high wage below Quebec median hourly wage of 27.47, that was September 3, and that's why I didn't get any sleep before that to rush in for the LMIA application. And for more information, you go to MIFI website. Let's go here. But I would like to discuss these application exempted from the temporary refusal to process measure. It means all these positions, you don't have any problem at all. So to check for your NOC codes, like for example, if you're taking an elderly who needs medical needs or a child who needs medical needs, you don't have a problem at all for now, of course, because we don't know what the government will say after. But I think they will not change that because that's people needs that work. And then for agricultural sector, you see this code and you see this title. If the title of your work does not correspond with this code, then you need you will be you're one of the suspended LMIAs. You cannot have an LMIA, or you cannot renew your LMIA for we don't know when under the federal uh, policy or regulation. I'm sorry, I'm just tired. It's already 6:47. I usually sleep at 8. Construction sector. So you have this code 2361, 2372, and you check that. The food manufacturing sector. If you have this code and you work in Montreal, you don't have a problem. Education sector. If you have this code and you're in elementary and secondary school, you don't have a problem. Also for health and social sector, offices of physicians and all these. You don't have a problem in any cities in Canada or Montreal. Let's go up. If you want to know if you're affected, and you live in Saint-Hyacinthe, si vous voulez savoir si Saint-Hyacinthe est inclus, on va le regarder. Pardon. Et là, on va aller dans le site de MIFI. Là, il a bien expliqué, voilà. La région administrative de Montréal correspond à l'île de Montréal. Elle comprend les municipalités suivantes. Là, si votre salaire horaire médian est en bas de 27,47 de l'heure, voilà, c'est la liste. Baydorf, Beaconsfield, Côte-Saint-Luc, des Ormeaux, Dorval, Hampstead, Kirkland, l'île d'Orval, Montréal, Montréal-Est, Montréal-Ouest, Mont-Royal, Pointe-Claire, Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue, Sainte-Ville et Westmount. Donc, Allez regarder votre adresse et si votre adresse est dans cette liste-là, vous êtes inclus. Il faut, la prochaine fois, si vous allez renouveler votre EMT, il faut avoir cette salaire pour que vous puissiez renouveler votre EMT. Sinon, vous ne pouvez pas renouveler dans 6 mois, pour une période de 6 mois, mais même l'ego a dit que il ne sait pas, peut-être c'est pour prolonger, on ne sait pas. Pour l'instant, c'est ce qu'il a dit. Est-ce qu'il y en a d'autres questions? On va les garder. Is there any other question? Hello. Show. Okay. From DJ says, hello. Application sa Montreal noong 2022. We had an application in Montreal in 2022. Lumabas ang LMIA ng partner ko till now. Waiting kami ng medical request and that time, yung salary ng partner ko. Well, if you already had an LMIA approved, the medical request, you know, there are two applications that's involved in LMIA and LMIA and work permit. You have to apply for the LMIA first, and once it's approved, then that's the time you apply for the work permit. And it's the work permit that's asking for your medical request. So it means if, like, for example, you've already had an approved LMIA, then you can still continue with your work permit. It won't be affected at all because we're talking of the renewal of LMIA and application of LMIA on low wage only. If you've already had an approved LMIA and you're just waiting for your approved work permit, then there's no problem at all. Any more questions? Merci Karim de poser des questions. Thank you DJ for asking. Any more questions for caregivers? So what are we gonna do then for caregivers? No problem. Thank you too for asking questions. For caregivers, how about, are there any caregivers here? Est-ce qu'il y a de... I would like to tell you too that because there are many confusions involved when you talk about LMIAs and work permit. LMIA is a different application. LMIA is an application that's evaluating your employer. It's an application that they will check if there's really no Canadian citizens or permanent residents who will be affected in the job. And a work permit is dependent on your LMIA because it's a closed work permit. And that's why I discussed a while ago that there are programs that doesn't require LMIA. And I hope you'll be able to avail that. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, Mr. Dana. I hope it's clear enough. But if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay. Hello po, Ate Jenny. Is there any possibility in Kamouraska to be renewed? There are many foreign workers who are local here. Yes, there's a possibility unless the government will tell again, will announce again that we cannot renew LMIA or they won't be able to renew LMIA in other regions. Then But right now, the only places are in Montreal, and those places with regions with unemployment of 6% and up. But like I said, as a temporary workers, there's no guarantee that we can stay here for a long time in Canada. So what we should do really is to apply for permanent residency. Go and take your English exam, IELTS, and if you can study your French. You don't need to go to school because they're having problem of people they're waiting to go to school. You go to YouTube, and there are many, many sites there who can teach you how to speak French and write French. So, as long as you take the exam and pass the NCLSC 5 for French, you can boost your points and you can even go out of the provinces without LMIA. Okay? Bonjour de Sado, en dehors de Montréal et avec un permis ouvert. On peut avoir un permis de travail fermé si on a un contrat avec aussi un visa touristique en dehors de Montréal. Oui, vous avez déjà un permis ouvert. Je ne sais pas pourquoi vous avez un permis ouvert. Est-ce que à cause de quel programme? Vous pouvez avoir un permis de travail fermé, bien sûr, si vous avez un contrat, mais il faut avoir un EMT. Pour fermer votre permis de travail, il faut demander un EMT à votre employeur. Le visa touristique, bien sûr, vous pouvez avoir un EMT, mais il faut sortir de Canada pour avoir le permis de travail. Ce n'est pas bien grave que ça, le visa touristique. Est-ce que je peux... Bonjour. Est-ce que c'est clair, Monsieur Saidou? Ma'am, regarding IELTS band score skills, what's your question? Well, regarding skill for the tier 3 job, you're required to have at least CLB 5. Better to have in all levels, in all skills. Hello. If visitor's visa holder na nakahanap ng, if a visitor visa is able to find an employer and he's willing to sponsor to have an LMIA, do you have to go home to the Philippines? And applicant, yes, you have to go out of Canada. I don't care where you go out of Canada, but just go out of Canada once for your work permit. Once you get the LMIA. You can stay here while waiting for the work permit approval as a visitor under visitor's record, but work permit, once approved, you have to go out of Canada. Yeah, approved LMIA is approved. LMIA have an expiration. Yes, there is an expiration with LMIA. That's why you have to check the LMIA. You can ask that to your employer, and it's stated there in the paper. Yeah, thank you, Leo. I hope you're doing well. Any other question? So I hope you signed up the petition, and I hope as an immigration consultant, I can only do as such as give you the rules. But if it doesn't apply to you, I'm really asking you to go to non-profit organizations, and they're the one who would help us more beyond these rules, or to pressure the government and to change their minds on these rules, because I think some don't realize that there are lives at stake here, and we have families to feed. So if you have anything else, if there's some if you're shy to ask me, then you can contact me. You have my website there and Facebook website. And then just feel free to send me a message. It's almost an hour now. I'm showing you again the conclusion and next steps. What to do. I'll take off the comments. I think this is the banners. Hi. Sorry. Is there any more questions? Because I'll be ending this session soon at 7 o'clock. I'll give you 5 more minutes, and if there's none after this, then I'll close the session. For the caregiver, if there are caregivers here, I would like to clarify that the caregiver program is closed. We have to wait for the announcement this fall. So for those who wanted to apply for their permanent residency, get ready for all your applications, requirements, get ready. Just get ready because once it's open and they announce something that's really good, then or not, but as long as we apply for the permanent residency, you can have your open work permit. As long as they don't change that, then let's grab that opportunity for you. But for now it's closed, so don't listen to anyone who's saying otherwise. It's closed for now. Let's wait for fall. You'll hear from me if it's open and there's some good news or bad news. So we have Gustavo Pineda as a machine operator in food processing industry. It is possible to apply for PR after 1 year with the company. Food processing industry, first you have to check your tier. Is it tier 1, 2, or 3? What's your code? What's the title of your work? Do you know, Miss Gustavo? Mr. Gustavo? Food processing. Let me see. No code. I'll check. I'll show you how you do to check the knock code. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Food process. Yep, yep. Okay. All you need is ask Google, our best assistant in town. Food processing, knock code, food processing. Okay, if this is the title, if this is the title, you go to knock. You don't go to any website there that's not official. You see this and you see this is official. If this is your knock and it starts with 9, you go here, broad occupational category, 9 occupation, and you are in tier 5. So which means that there's no program on CSC for tier 5. Okay, let's go to the official website. Not this one, not this one. This wcanada.ca. Go to Canadian Experience class. It's one of the three federal program. And you see, the only skilled worker category with 1 year skilled worker experience is tier 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's how you look at it. But as a machine operator, oh, I did not see that. So we go to machine operator. Let's go back again. Machine operator, NOC code. Machine operator. That will be a different story. Mineral. If this is the one, machine operator statistic. No, yours is food, right? It's not mineral and metal processing. So we put machine operator. Okay. I wish you have to find your knock code. You just have to ask your employer. Will be much easier. Because look at this. You have to look for it. Make sure this is on a 2021 version and not on these version. Otherwise, you're gonna be confused. Machine operator. Machine operator. Machine operator. Here. Operators and attendants. Mail, railway, material handlers, underground, fisherman, woman. Jeez. Machine, mineral, matching job titles, machining tools operators. I'm giving you some crash course now, right? This is still general information anyway. Machine operator. Okay, bar straightening, cathode, full winding, machine, primary metal, wheeling, draw machine, sintering, preparation, utilities, in manufacturing and utilities. No, I don't find any job here. Can you ask your the job knock code next time, and then you just go here, and then you it's better to ask for a knock code because it's easier. Because we have a machine operator for these field, but food processing. So chemical technology supervisor, food and beverage. Okay, here you go. It's 94140. Process control and machine operators, food and beverage processing. And let's click it. And there you'll see what's your tier. Tier 4. So maybe if you, oh, I couldn't tell that. Sorry. So that's your tier 4. So you have to be tier 3 to be able to, for the CSC. I live in Montreal and travel outside the metropolitan area. Does this affect my application for permanent residencies? And we always have to consider where we work. It's not where we live, it's where we work. So if you work in outside of Montreal, that's fine. That's even better because you won't have problem with LMIA freeze. And but of course there's a point system for permanent residency where if you live in Montreal, you take less points. I think there's not points if you live in Montreal because the government really wants you to live outside of Montreal. Your comment is not posted. Yeah, because I do it one at a time. What about LMIA for an employee who is already working inside Canada for the employer who filed LMIA for the employee? What about LMIA for an employee who is already working inside Canada for the employer who filed LMIA for the employee? Are there any restrictions for that? The only restrictions are those who lives in Montreal and those who lives in territories, towns, province or not provinces, territories, cities, towns, who has a that has a unemployment rate of 6% or higher. So if you don't work in those places, then you don't have a problem. Sai, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Anything else? And of course, if your wage is high wage, 27.47 higher, then you don't have any problem at all to any cities or any municipalities in the whole Canada, even in Montreal. Is that clear enough? Okay. If there's no more any other question, it's 7:10. And I thank you for coming. I thank you for listening. And like I said, if you need any other help, then just reach me out to my messenger. We have a question from Cassidy. How about in Saint Laurent? Is it affected? I don't know. There are many Saint Laurent in Montreal or Quebec, but I'll show you the list of places where, let me see, where's that place? List of place list where you where Montreal where cities are listed. My share screen, labor market, enhancing vitality. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me just share this because I couldn't find it from this. Let me just share this. Sorry, there's gonna be some echo again. Answer a few question. Labor protect. Oh my God, labor. Okay, I think I minister. This is without LMIA. I see that. Find out. This is where the unemployment rate is. So just check where you are now. I think I've already shown that. There you go. Let's compare. Oh, it's hard where there's too many tabs. I wish I could just like ask them one by one. Hey Siri, hey Siri. So this is it. I'm showing you the Bay d'Or. So if your address is not listed here, then you don't need to worry. Okay. Saint Laurent, Quebec. Yeah, you have to check for the postal code and I've already shown you the share screen again with compound visitors. Here you go. That's the list in Montreal. You can go to this website. I'm gonna go and copy and put it in the chat, and you just go there. Okay? And here's another website for the unemployment rate in Quebec with 6% and higher. Okay. So anything else? Any more question? So that's it with Cassidy. That's the last. I thank you all for coming, and I wish you a good evening. And I wish everybody would be able to solve this problem. And like I said, if there's no solution to all problems, and there are organizations who can help, and just follow the rules. It's very important, and there's nothing impossible in this life. It just takes time. Just think about that, okay? You think of the solution, think of where you are, think of what to do. The best solution, of course. Be careful of those people who will tell you otherwise, because it's dangerous. Okay, and you don't cash out for money for some imposters or agents or ghost consultants. And now you know. So I wish you all a good night, good evening, and nothing else. Thank you again. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde. Bonsoir. Stream.